All right, well, welcome back to the Tomorrow Podcast. Got my man Mansa and
What's
myself,
going
Noah.
on?
We got uh we got a good one today, obviously. We are still keeping our pulse on the Charlie Kirk situation. We're mindful of that, but at the same time we want to remain grounded in purpose and not allow ourselves to be distracted. And I think if you overextend yourself on anything, it's no bueno. And so I think the most important thing to talk about today is economics, is macro and microeconomics with interest rates set to be cut tomorrow, I believe. Inshallah, tomorrow. Hopefully. I mean, that's what's
hmm
being told. I think it's important that we have this conversation, man, because I remember on Rush Hour too, uh, Chris Tucker on the Red Drag, he was talking about follow, or maybe it was the three, where he's like follow the white man, follow the rich white man.
Yeah, I believe so. I
Number
believe
two.
so. I think it was
And
number
so
two.
it's funny because even like in high school, I took economics and I don't remember anything. I just don't other than my teacher's name, like the importance of economics is becoming so apparent to me now, and how the incentive of money, it plays a large role in framing your lens on how you see the world. Obviously, we have Allah on like a spiritual level. We have religion when it comes to like prophecy, when it comes to scripture, revelation, and then on like the dunya level, there's money. And money really gives you a very clear scene of what's happening. And so with the interest rates, with crypto, what else? I know Ray Dalio taps into like the turning points. And this is like the fourth turning, according to him. That's something we'll also get into. You're looking at housing and unemployment. A lot of people are banking on these interest rates to help that. I personally don't believe that's going to be the case. I think kind of like what you said, there's going to be a uprising in investments for like 18 months. I think you said like 6 to 18 months. And then after that, like everybody's cashing out. Like America's going to be done for in that sense. And that, again, these are predictions, mind you. We're not experts. We're not
Right.
giving you financial
Right.
advice. It's just based on what we are seeing. And then debt, inflation, interest rates. What is money? I think that's an important conversation. Fractional reserve. All of these things are so important, man. And we're not told about anything in regards to like, the central banking, CBDC, and basically the new system that's uprising in replacement of the old system, which is completely lost of trust, which is what money is based out of, right? Trust. And so, yeah, no, let's kind of unpack this. And then we can go globally, right? We can go into BRICS and the yuan and what's happening on that end and how they're kind of working on destabilizing the dollar in the other parts of the world, right? And then kind of wrap it up with like what that means for us on an individual level and how we should be preparing for the future. And a large part of that, in my opinion, is digital world,
hmm hmm
especially if you're in America.
hmm
So yeah, that kind of like summarizes what we'll be talking about today. And try not to fall asleep. Is mad important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's mad
Yeah.
because
I'm pretty
economics is a
sure.
trigger word where like a lot of us just
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But like money, and you notice this with a lot of brokies, they don't understand money. If you
No, they
look
don't.
around you, whether it's your parents, community, people that have the least amount of money do not understand how it actually works. And the more you learn about money and the game of Monopoly, the more successful you'll be naturally. And it's interesting, bro, because, and I'll let you go after this, but one of my cousins who's like known for having some amount of wealth, right? His family, I spent the night at their house when I was younger. Um, and they had a big ass house and like the game we played for hours was Monopoly. Hours.
Mm, mm.
And
Wow.
then like I was
Mm,
reflecting on it. I was like, wow,
hmm Yeah.
that's so powerful. Like we was
Yeah.
playing Halo and Call of Duty. They would be up all night playing Monopoly. And like
Mm,
that's what their parents encouraged them, their brother encouraged them. And that mindset is so it's so yeah, man, I was just like, that is so
yeah.
incredible. Like it's a slow game. It's like everything we don't like as brokies, right? It's not instant
Mm,
gratification. You gotta
hmm
learn, you gotta sit there, but like that's the game of money. That's the
Yeah.
game of finances. And so it's a long-term game. It's an investor's mindset. And having
Right.
that requires vision, purpose, right? Like there's a
Right.
lot that plays into that. So I thought that was fascinating as I was reflecting on like this topic. But
Yeah. No, no, I mean that's an incredible game. It's particularly a game about real estate too. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? It's heavy on the real estate. But the other thing, and this probably the only thing I'm gonna bring up that's racial about the connection to the game is somebody had made an analysis that they was like, if you look imagine all the races playing Monopoly, right? And everybody else got a head start in a lot of money or a considerable amount
Mhm.
of money and you as a black person didn't get a good start or money, and you just magically happen to end up on land in jail
Mhm.
every time. The game, that's what racism is. Because see, racism isn't about disliking people. That's bigotry. Racism is actually using systems to discriminate and restrict resources and opportunities based on race. You see, I mean,
And
that's
just
the
like to create
ism.
a disadvantage.
Right.
That makes
But
sense.
yeah. So, but beyond that though, outside of that, the point is though, like, yeah, the economic discussion is a much needed one, and it's one that people should be actively engaged in. Entire families, you know what I mean, should be engaged in. And it's interesting too because if you're not raised with the awareness as a child about money, you have to learn it as an adult or as a teenager or some point in your life. If you take it serious, you're gonna have to, if you're not raised in it. And the significant part about raising children with being economically and financially conscious is it gives you the ability to understand money and how it operates before having to learn that the hard way. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you're just brought up in it. You know what I'm saying? And it has to do with the mentality. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because when you even look at the schooling system, the private schools of the wealthy and rich, they're learning about strategy. They're learning about, they're learning social skills. They're learning about starting businesses. They're not learning the regular things that people in public school or mid-tier schools are learning. You know what I'm saying? Because they're actually in school to learn how to take over the family empire. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Or to elevate the family empire. They're not in it to just like, I'm the first one to graduate from college, or
Yeah.
you want to be doctors and lawyers. Now, don't get me wrong, doctors and lawyers are important, but this interesting. During colonization, I for somehow always bring it back to that. But in colonization in Africa, the Muslims in like West Africa, they didn't want their children becoming lawyers and doctors. They said those
Mm.
were useless skills. They wanted them to be merchants and businessmen because they said
But
that's
they
the,
want
see
them to own the hospital.
what I'm saying?
Mm.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying?
Different mindset.
That's because in trade and business is forever. It's timeless. That
Mhm.
will not change with the economic conditions. Being a good businessman, a good merchant, a person that knows how to trade and develop value, spot value, acquire assets. Those are
Mm.
skills that, regardless of whether you have a technical skill like a medical or lawyer, something like that, you're going to be able to use that and put that to use to gain economic advantage. So yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? I open with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Definitely
it was
agree
like
with you.
timeless skills. It's like tied to wisdom. And a lot of
Mhm.
merchants, like even Islamically, I mean, there's like, yeah, there's a lot of wisdom behind being a merchant or a businessman. Because like you
Right.
said, you can do that anywhere, and
Anyway.
as opposed to being locked in within one industry. And now we're seeing that, right? We're seeing AI disrupt all of that. So you as a doctor 20, 30 years ago, it's a completely different field. You being a lawyer, it's like now with AI, you're realizing that these skills are specialized. And anyone that's
Hmm.
specialized in one field is being replaced because you're not as
Hmm.
valuable. Whereas now we're moving into an era where you have to be what I consider a full stack human being, where you have to be well rounded in every regard. You can specialize here and there, but ultimately, I think the intellectual era is coming to an end as we grow into super intelligence. I think the value of like the intellectual and we're moving into
Hmm.
more like the spiritual meaning, purpose, creativity. I think that's kind of, that's like a whole new topic, but I think that's kind of where we're going.
Hmm.
With tomorrow, have you been following the interest rates? I just kind of want to get your thoughts on what to expect from Powell on the Federal Reserve, then hopefully dropping it 0.25, maybe zero point 0.5, and the effects that you are anticipating.
Well, I think that ultimately, if they, by dropping the interest rates, that's going to create like an explosion of capital investment into U.S. markets. You see
Hmm.
what I'm saying? And I don't know how long the stimulation of that is going to last. I don't know how long,
Yeah.
but when that massive influx of capital comes back into the market, because now, like, because the way
Yeah,
it's
break that
based on
down
the
for
REBA
us. So like,
system,
let's say
yeah.
some of the youth are watching, they really understand interest rates, Federal Reserve. They're just trying to break that down, why that's important, what interest rates do, how it moves the market, investors, like how does that change the dynamics of the
So,
economy?
so as Muslims, we can't intentionally engage in REBA or interest, right? But this system is based on interest, right? So based on this, the interest rate is the central bank, the Federal Reserve, as it applies to the United States, that is the central bank for the United States. And it sets the interest rate, basically how much money costs. It's the cost or price for money. So the interest rates is how much banks are going to borrow money at what rate. Are they going to borrow it at a 10% rate? That means that's a 10% interest. That's high. That means they're because whatever the banks borrow it at, they put a point or 2 points or extra points on top of it when they loan it or put that money to use among consumers, right? So it's basically the cost of money. You know what I mean? Is what the
Yeah.
interest rate is. So if the interest rates are low, that
Like the
means the
tax on
cost.
money for the bank.
Well, it's not necessarily a tax. You can look at it like that, but it's literally the price for money. Like
Mm,
like like if you're gonna go to the store and buy eggs, it's literally
yeah.
like the price. Like because what ends up happening is, let's say the interest rates are low, then that means that banks can now borrow money at the lowest interest rate possible. So that means it's going to be lower for the consumer, not as low for the bank, not as low as it would be for the banks, but lower than it is. So now banks are, because money is cheap or the price is cheap or the price goes down, they're willing to give out and loan out more money because the cost of money is cheap. So that's why you're going to see, or goes down, right? Because so like for instance, when the real estate market for mortgages was about, like, before COVID, it was about what, like 3% or something like that, 2.5, 3%. That means that the banks was getting that at probably like 1% or 0.5% and putting
Mm,
another 1 or 2% points on it. So what ends up happening now is the interest rates on the dollar causes everything else on interest to go down. So the price on a mortgage is going to go down in terms of the interest rates. So the price on, you'll see the stock market even begin to rally because now people are borrowing more money to invest into the stock market. You see what I'm saying?
mhm.
So that's what causes the spike in capital markets to increase in the U.S. when the interest rate goes down. That makes sense?
Yeah, and then the debt as well, right? Because like if the interest rates is higher as an investor, it's safer for me to put it into commodities or crypto. Whereas when the interest rates lower, I can take out money and my money is now making more money than it would in a more stable asset, right? Because then you can reinvest, like you said, into AI technology stocks where your returns will be higher, whether 10, 12%, whatever the rate is. And so
Mhm,
that encourages people to spend rather than to save or
mhm,
invest elsewhere and take their
mhm.
money outside. So yeah,
Right.
that's the understanding. That's the overall like purpose of lowering interest rates. It also combats with inflation because if your money is being inflated at a higher rate than what your return is, there's a lot of nuances to that. I'm still learning and trying to unpack
Mhm,
a lot of it. I encourage everyone, I mean, especially with ChatGPT, man, I encourage everyone
mhm.
to kind of really dive deep into it because it does impact and you start to realize that a lot of it is manipulated ultimately.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
there's a it's like yeah, a lot of it is systematic, a lot of it is manipulated, a lot of it is done intentionally, which is how and why a lot of people are frustrated nowadays, right? Because they're seeing that the information like the reduction of interest rates is information being given to a certain group of people that are then able to anticipate the markets and then cash out, and then that money is being reallocated to them while you know the poor gets
Mhm,
poor and the rich gets richer. I mean, this is the essence of how it happened. It's
mhm.
all stems from interest rates, in my opinion. In my according to my understanding, I don't know, is that accurate?
No, it's very accurate. I
And
mean,
why interest in Islam is probably like the
right.
most
Yeah,
like sinful thing. I mean, this
specifically,
is
right.
yeah,
Specifically for that purpose because, like, like what rich people do, they'll say, "Oh, everybody, instead of spending your money, y'all should have did this with your money." You know what I'm saying? It's like accountability. They'll point to the individual accountability that people should have to be financially and economically responsible, which is very true. You know what I'm
valid.
saying? Very true. I mean,
Partly,
at the base root of it, personal accountability has to be at the center point for
yeah,
everybody's life, or else
yeah,
we won't be able to hold anybody to anything. You know what I'm saying? However, the system is engineered for there to be winners and losers, winners and losers. And so it's not designed for everybody to win. And there's been systems that has been engineered to make it so certain groups get certain information last so
Yeah.
that they're not able to compete at a certain level. You know what I'm saying? So also when it comes to, insider trading is a big thing, but
Yeah.
it's
Shout out
selective
to
how it's
Nancy Pelosi.
prosecuted. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's an app that somebody made that tracks the
Yeah.
investments of Congress, and they give you an alert every time somebody from Congress invests in something to let you
Yeah.
know to invest in it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
brilliant. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So ultimately, it's a game of winners and losers. And so you have to be up on this for your personal self and your family and do the right things. And even in so doing, there's going to be winners and losers because it's designed for certain ones to win and others to lose. Like if you're like, for instance, when Bitcoin was like everybody believes when the stock market is doing bad, you know, everybody with money and everybody that is investors, they know to invest in stocks when it's low. When it's a crash,
When it
that's the best
crashes.
time to buy
Yeah.
because
Correct. That's
they
what Warren
consider
Buffett
it
is
on
on right
discount.
now. Yeah. That's
It's
what
on
Warren Buffett is
discount.
doing. Correct.
You know what I mean? It's on sale because it's going to go back up because the markets is manipulated. There are
Hmm.
markets that have been managed for centuries that have
Yeah.
been put into commodification and stocks and these indexes and stuff like that. But this is ancient trade that has been going on for so long that now
Yeah.
it's been made more sophisticated. So the person who used to be a merchant back in the day, who used to travel the seas or caravans and bring spices here and trade this but that's the same thing that's going on with the markets, right? It's the
Mm.
ancient system that has been made more sophisticated through technology.
Correct.
So it's all based on who has the information so that they're going to be able to do the things to put them ahead of everybody else. Now,
Hmm.
when a stock is going up and people see a stock or some kind of commodity or something is going up, they like, oh, this is doing good. I want to buy it in. They know that you guys who buy when things are going up,
Yeah.
you're the losers because
Yeah.
when it gets up there, they're going to sell and cash out.
Correct.
And when they cash out, that's going to drop the price again. And they're going to buy more
Exactly.
because they cashed out and got more. You see?
Correct.
And it's what it does is strategically pushes the little people or the retail investor out of the market. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the
It's like the
dynamic of
lottery.
it.
It's like the lottery,
Exactly.
right? It's like the lottery where you continue to build up the winning pot until everybody's putting enough money into it, and then eventually you cash out, and 99% of people lose. You'll have a few winners that make it to the next level, but ultimately the majority of people, the modern, like the everyday person, will lose out. And then it's like they use that one or two, three people that actually won. They put them on TV, and then a new herd of people that are in situations try to then seek that out, and it just rinse and repeat until you get to the fourth turning, which is what Ray Dalio is talking about. Until you get to a point where the majority of people realize the game is rigged, realize, lose all hope in the system and turn to violence or some type of restructuring of government through policy, right? Like they realize, like, you know, this isn't fair. This is what we see what's happening. So, have you looked into Ray Dalio's and his fourth turning
Ray,
and his,
Ray Dalio he has an incredible book. But no, Ray Dalio about the fourth turn, and that's very significant. You know what I mean? It details and lay out how the cycles of civilizations go through these ups and downs, and when you know that one society is on a decline. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So the fourth turn, he had a really good interview on the CEO, the
Darius
Diary of the
CEO.
CEO. Yeah,
Yeah,
very excellent
brilliant.
interview. And that's what I'm saying. You can see if everybody study ancient Rome, and like ancient Rome is just like a great example because they're one of those empires that, really rose to the heights at the time in that world back in the day, and it just fell. You know what I mean? And you can kind of look at the same cycles it went through, and you can identify and match it specifically with the United States because most European governments and systems were modeled after the Roman Empire, you
That's what I was
know?
gonna say. They all have the interest-based model in common because none of his examples turn to like the Muslim civilization. They're all
Right,
based on like the Western civilization,
right.
which is a depiction of like the interest-based model that constantly rinses and repeats. So that's what
Hmm.
I really found fascinating. I thought that was a fascinating perspective as well. It's like, wow, these are all, that's what they all have in common. And that's what he's pointing to. And then you're seeing that now with like China and BRICS and them transferring over back into commodities, back into gold. But do you think it's accurate? What is your assessment of the fourth turning? And do you believe we're in the fourth turning? And
Yeah,
what are
yeah,
your,
yeah. I think it's very accurate. I think it's very
okay.
accurate. I think it's spot on, actually. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And I think that ultimately the stage we're at now is like there's a period of time in Rome where everything was collapsing and everybody was just like partying and just like we don't care. You know what I'm saying? We're just oblivious to it. The decadence had gotten so large
Yeah.
till
The
you know,
Groypers.
yeah,
The Groypers as
they
well.
didn't care. The decadence got so large, right? That it
Yeah.
was just like we just gonna do whatever until whatever happens. And then so the period of time from that to when the barbarians, being the Huns and all these other different groups had started to overrun, the Celts started to overrun Rome, is because they had gotten very weak and they had gotten very effeminized as a society. And I don't say that like there's an element that Diallo's not touching on. Like he's touching on the economic aspect, but
Dalio,
there's a
Dalio.
God,
I was cool. I was like, Ray Dalio. Oh, Dalio.
I did,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, Dalio. Right, right. I'm about to say, nah, that's Diallo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's
Yeah.
right, Dalio. But yeah, you see, so there's
Interesting.
because it happened with the Moors
Not just
in Spain
economic.
too. Yeah,
Interesting.
it happened with the Moors in Spain too.
Really?
What led to, because what happened was the Moors in Spain, they got too decadent. You know what I'm saying? They got very decadent. And anytime they would get in trouble, they would call to Africa and get troops from Africa to come up there and shore things up. But
Mm.
because they had gotten too decadent, the sultans and the scholars in North Africa and Morocco and other places, like, nah, we're not sending no more troops up there. Y'all gotta deal with it. You see what I'm saying? Because of y'all decadence. You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
So decadence is probably the decadence and hedonism is probably the highest indicators that a society is about to fall.
What about
Because
nihilism? Where would you put
yeah,
nihilism?
nihilism as well. That's
Okay.
what I started on, where like people
Okay.
was just partying, they didn't even care what was
Yeah.
going on. They didn't care about anything else that was going on. So you'll see an increase in nihilism, hedonism,
Mm.
decadence, you know, just do as
Babylon.
thou Babylon, pleasure, whatever, anything goes,
Whatever
you
you feel,
know,
do.
whatever you feel, do. YOLO, feminization overall of society is almost always like a
Which is
clear
tied to that. That
indication.
makes sense. The feminization is like whatever you feel, like that's
Yeah,
what's right. That
right.
makes sense.
100%. 100%. You see what I'm saying? So that's like the herald and calling of a society's decline. And that's what we
Yeah, you're
see
right, bro.
not, yeah, no, no,
No,
no,
because the
no. Listen,
fall of the Moorish rule is a result of internal fragmentation to smaller rival states. I mean, that
there
right
you
there
go.
is just
Yeah,
like,
there you
and
go.
then the increase of stronger unified Christian kingdoms, which is basically BRICS, China, like the outside forces. It's a combination of both of those things happening at
Right,
once.
right.
Wow, that's exactly what's happening
The consolidation of other groups and the fragmentation of others.
internally.
You see what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, you know what I mean?
That's
Like
why history is so important, man. Like
it's a cycle. It repeats
it's a
itself.
cycle, man. It's a story like you mentioned yesterday. It's all a continued story. You know, it's a divine story that's being told over and over and over. You know what I mean? Like the
Hmm.
messengers, the prophets, they keep coming. Nothing is changing. Just the
Right.
scenario, just the technology, but all of it is really just
Same.
the same. It's
Th-
fascinating, bro.
Very
We are
fascinating.
so stupid,
Absolutely.
bro. Like,
Yo,
and we
for
keep
real.
thinking like,
That's why
wow.
I'm big on history. That's
No,
why
no, for
I'm big
sure.
on history, bro. I'm a history buff
Yeah,
because I'm like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
when you understand what happened, you can see what's going to take place again. Then you know who the players are, how long the
Yeah.
conflict's been going on. Like so many people talk about things today, be like, why is things this way and why is things that way? And it's like, yo, there's actually an answer for that. Like there's a
Yeah,
way we
there is.
ended up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you also gotta factor in people who, when you're looking at history, when you're understanding the cycles of it, it gives you the ability to not be necessarily emotional about things. You see what
correct.
I'm saying? You can remove your emotion because you've seen this before at this
Yeah,
point in the timeline. Think about Game of Thrones, right? Think about
Yeah,
how they talk about Valeria, the old kingdom, right? And then they
yeah,
talk about the age of this and the age of that. And then
yeah,
the directors start building prequels and sequels to this. And like it's always all one story, just from
yeah.
different vantage points. You see what I'm saying? And then depends on at what point are you telling the story beginning at. You see what I'm saying?
And what perspective based on who's ruling?
100%.
What's his narrative? Which is why narrative is so important.
Exactly. Narrative is
Wow.
key. So I think like man in America, like the work that Dalio has done is incredible overall. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
it doesn't speak to the moral decadence and the other factors that are also
yeah.
clear indicators to the decline of a civilization. And when you put those together, I would say the US, we're right at that point of no return.
Turning point.
The turning point.
No point intended.
Well, no,
Yeah,
no pun intended. I
yeah.
get it.
Absolutely.
I get it.
Yeah. No,
I
no.
get
There's
it.
meaning to it. No, there's
Yeah.
purpose. It's really what it is. Like everyone's feeling it.
Yeah. I
Everyone's
just it just
realizing.
hit me like because I'm like that
Yeah,
turning point
yeah.
is
You're
like, oh,
trying to say without. Yeah,
I get it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it's such a powerful movement, because like that's really what's happening. It's like what turn are we making? Is it gonna be a left turn or a right turn? And that's really what the fight is about. It's the
Right.
left and the right, literally.
Right.
And,
Right.
and I think
Right.
it's really the answer is probably like always the middle path. It's neither. It's something in
Yeah.
the middle, and
Or
that's what.
how about let's not go left or right. Let's go up. You see what I'm saying? Like, why do we have to right? Why we only have this choice? Why we only got this choice?
Yeah,
Why don't we go up
go
or
up.
forward, like you said? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Go
not
up
like
or
up.
straight.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
We're not looking up. We're looking
Transcend.
to the left. Exactly. Why we're
Mm,
not trying to transcend because at any point in struggle, even in your
hell,
life,
man.
at any point in struggle, there's this point where
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you could
yeah,
get crushed by the conflict or you could push through it and persevere. And if you break through, that's your breakthrough. That's when you make it big. That's when you get past the thing that was holding you back and you've earned and proven the
mm,
capacity to be on the other side. But we're not doing that. All of our
yeah.
pundits, all of our talking point or talking heads, everybody is saying left or right. Let's
Left to
fight.
right.
Let's go to war. Like, why would we want to destroy everything that has been built? Like, you know how hard
Yeah,
it is for civilization to get to where we're at right now?
yeah. Lack of appreciation, lack of gratitude. I mean, we take it for granted, man. Like the lifestyle we living in America is phenomenal. I mean, it's not even. I can't even comprehend how blessed we are, and we're just burning it all to the ground for what?
That's
You know
how
what I mean?
you
Like,
know somebody's controlling. That's how you know somebody's controlling because, and this is how you know they're so desensitized from war. Like I'm gonna think about this like real simple.
yeah,
In a war, bridges get destroyed.
yeah,
How
yeah,
are we going to get across the bridges? Who's going to build the bridges? You know how much it,
yeah,
you know how to build a bridge? You know what it takes to build a bridge?
yeah.
Just a bridge. In Texas, you know, you got all of these highways that
You
go
got
up,
you got
down
the
like
Hot
this.
Wheels.
You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like people don't think about these things. They're calling for war and let's fight and the civil. Like, yo,
Takes a long time, bro. Takes a
takes
long time to build these. I was in Little Elm when they were building the freeway, and they still
see,
building it. You know what I mean? Like
see,
it takes forever, but to
forever.
destroy it, quick.
Yeah, quick. Now, if you're going to rebuild it, right? You need you need civil engineers, you need people with the skill sets. Like, how you going to marshal those resources together to build that? Again,
Yeah,
bridges. People
yeah,
don't think about that. Like when you
yeah,
gotta drive, when you're driving across that creek or that river, you know, and that bridge is not there. Like
yeah,
that's what war does. It's destruction. So when people are calling for destruction, you can tell they're disassociated with what real destruction looks like and what you go through when things are
yeah. And they're
destroyed.
disconnected from history. 'Cause history is what
Yeah,
allows that perception of like appreciation of like, wow, like someone came before me and built this, and I'm adding to it. Like it's not just about me; it's about a
right.
legacy.
Exactly.
It's beyond. But when you become, selfish and narcissistic, and everything is revolved around your needs and your wants on the individual level as opposed to a collective, I think you lose sight of that, and you get the you get the jokers, you get the
Yeah, you
jokers
get the yeah,
out.
man.
Yeah.
We're in the joking stage right now, and that's why I always say people should really pay attention to comic books. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
comic
mm.
books, superhero movies, all these types of things are really just like it's all about your framing and how you see it. If you're sitting there looking to be entertained, you're gonna miss the whole point. They're
I think that's
giving
more. I think that's more it because everyone's watching it from entertainment standpoint, but they're not consuming it in the way that you are from like a social lens, right? Like that,
yeah,
like
yeah,
seeing it, be entertained by truth, like understand that this is a message more than anything, and there's a reason why it's
exactly,
resonating so deeply with
exactly,
you. These
exactly.
stories mean something.
They
So yeah,
mean something, and they're conveying a message. They're
yeah,
conveying like the system and the powers that be is giving you insight to certain things. You know,
yeah,
like think about peptides, right? I know they should like cracking down on that, but like I always feel
yeah.
that, yeah, like the stuff off the gray market because they want the pharmaceutical companies want to control it now. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
So
Okay, I
yeah,
get you.
but my point about it is like a lot of stuff that we see is like these health fixes. This stuff got figured out during the super soldier programs when they made Captain America. Now, was Captain America
Mm,
a real character? No,
yeah,
he represents
yeah,
the super soldiers that were made in World War II. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like the secret experiments. You can go and
yeah.
look at
Literally.
declassified CIA documents that say they was doing this stuff. The
Yeah.
Manhattan Project, the this project, the what's the other one? Not the Manhattan Project. It was so many of them.
Not
So my
MK Ultra. You talking about
MK
something?
Ultra, you got those
Yeah,
too. That too, the mind control joints. You know.
yeah,
So the point I'm making is that these things are all indicators of what's actually happening. You know what I'm saying? So they give us insight to what's occurring and how it's occurring. And that gives us an opportunity to adjust ourselves in the reality of things or how we're going to move and make decisions. But people just walk around mindless. Like
yeah,
that's why when they drop something, I was like, they've been telling y'all they was going to do this. Everybody's like,
yeah.
Palantir is going to, they told you with Eagle Eye what they was going to do. They showed you on Enemy of the State with Will Smith, how the iRobot, they told you that.
Yeah,
They've been,
I think on the elite level, you start realizing because again, we have that mindset. You start realizing language is conveyed through symbols before anything. Symbols. Since Captain America is a symbol, Iron Man, these are symbols. They're symbolic and they represent a message that if you don't pay close attention, like you miss it. You're just an NPC. You're not even in the game. You're not even a main character. You're just one of those that you know what I mean. Like it's so man. There's a lot. There's a lot. Like you go into the Freemasonry and all that. Like there's a lot. Like symbology is so important, and I
yeah,
think
bro.
you have to understand the language of symbols. That's why when you see like the celebrities and the eye, like
Yeah. Hmm. Right.
they're conveying a message without saying anything.
And it's layered too. Like see, that's
Layered.
the other thing. Like there's so many layers to, okay. And that's why I like history.
Yeah.
The layers to it is that, yeah, when you get into, you see the eye on the dollar, right? The eye on the back of the dollar isn't an Egyptian pyramid.
Yeah.
To be exact, it's a Sudanese pyramid
Mm,
because the Sudanese pyramid is the pyramid that don't have the capstone, triangular capstone at the top, right?
mm,
Because the
mm.
origin of the ancient Egyptian culture and civilization came from Kush, which is modern day Sudan. You see what I'm saying? And
Mm,
Sudan got more pyramids than Egypt does, right?
mm.
And the reason I point that out is because when they talking about the all-seeing eye and they trying to make you think it's the devil and it's the evil and it ain't got
Yeah.
nothing to do with that. It took on that personification from the Catholic Church who was demonizing occult knowledge. Occult just means hidden. It doesn't mean haram, doesn't mean this. It's just secret knowledge that the people who were in charge of running society and building civilization had not, because that's another thing. The way we get knowledge today, you couldn't get knowledge like that back in the day.
No way,
This
man.
shit was
This is
sacred.
incredible. This is incredible. Yeah.
Like people had to, the people used to have to die to get knowledge. You see what I'm
Yeah. I mean,
saying?
we even know this from the scholarlies, right? The hadiths, like they travel the world just to get
To
like
get
one
knowledge.
sentence.
One
I just
sentence.
Google it. Just
You
Google
see
it.
what I'm saying? So
Crazy.
you can
Yeah.
see how people don't even value certain things, right? So the point is
Mm,
They looking on the dollar, that the dollar with the eagle represents the peace, or yeah, the peace deal between the Muslims and the Christians, or the Moors and the Romans, to
Mm,
signify the creation of the United States. That's why it's a dual seal. That seal
mm,
that on the back of the dollar, that's supposed to represent the peace between the Muslim world, because the Muslim world was in control of the pyramids at the time. Because at the time that was even going down, they was dealing with the Mahdi in the Sudan, right? The British
mm.
was dealing with the Mahdi in the Sudan, who was fighting against British colonialism. So the
Mm.
point I'm making is, because even when you look at the RPG flag, like the RBG flags, it's like this revolutionary but gangster flag, the red, black, and green flag
Red,
that
black,
Marcus
green.
Garvey
Yeah,
used.
the Pan
That
African
comes from
flag.
yeah, but that comes from the Sudan. That comes from the Mahdi's flag. You see what I'm saying?
Really?
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So my point is that when you go into the Masonry, the first Masonic lodge opened up in an abbey in Scotland. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And Scotland was founded by Akhenaten's daughter, Scotta or Skoda. You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
She left when they was killing her peoples. When they was killing Akhenaten, she fled, went to Scotland. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff about Moors of Scotland and all that. I'm not going to get into that. But my point is that
yeah, yeah.
it's a really good book, and you can Google this book. I left this book in Mecca. The first time I went to Mecca, I left the book in the hotel. It's called Islamic Origins of Freemasonry. This book breaks
Really?
down, yeah, the book breaks the whole thing down, because the Masons, right, are the ones who descend from the Knights Templar. The
Yeah,
Knights
yeah.
Templar was the ones going and fighting in the Crusades. So a lot of the Knights Templars was getting put on by the Muslims, who was showing them the knowledge that they wasn't getting about the Holy Land from the Pope, right?
Mm,
So when the Pope found out that there was these Knights Templars who were secretly converting to Islam on the low, they made the Baphomet image, the image of like that Gota Mendez, that the one that
yeah,
they say
yeah.
is
The
the devil.
transgender.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they said
looking.
that's astaghfirullah. They said that's the Knights Templar was worshiping. They was worshiping the devil, the Baphomet, Muhammad. They were
Mm,
saying that was Prophet Muhammad, say Salam,
mm.
astaghfirullah. They was trying
No,
to
I'm not even
equate
gonna
that
say.
image
Yeah,
to him.
yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's
You even
what
see
so
depictions of that in Ertugrul, the TV
right.
show, when it comes to the Knights Templar and then like secretly being Muslim. Yeah, you see that. You
That's
see
my
that.
whole point. So when the Pope found that out, he made that image, said that they was worshiping, saying that was an image of the prophet, and then saying
Wow.
that they saying that that was actually the devil, and that the Knights Templar was worshiping them. So the Knights Templar went underground because they got chased by the Pope,
Mm,
and so when they reemerged as Freemasons.
mm.
You see, and
Yeah,
that book breaks that
yeah, yeah.
down. That book breaks that down. You see what I'm
What
saying?
break down the Shriners?
So the Shriners, you got 33 degrees in masonry,
Yeah.
right? So you
No,
got
I
the
mean that we
Scottish.
know of, right?
No. You got 33 degrees.
I was
You got
told that
33 degrees.
33 is like what's known, and if at the 33 third degree you're given a trial essentially to piss on the
Okay, but
Quran or the Bible, and if you do it, there are other levels. But if you don't do it, then you're essentially like, oh yeah, you won, you passed. Like this is the 33 degree, you made it. Like congratulations. But there are actual levels above 33 if you're willing to do the devil's work. Is that not
now check it out. Check it
accurate?
out. Check it out. Check it out. So you got no. Check it out, because no, I'm just this is gonna you're gonna laugh at this, because you're gonna see why they tell that story, right?
Okay, okay,
So to the
okay.
non-initiate, like I know real, like I've when you acquire the Morris information,
Naturally
you
fall into that.
surpass
You
you
learn.
surpass you surpass whatever a masturbation is, because that's all they doing is having decoded information about the morals, Islam. It's really
Mm,
the secret practice of Islam on the low.
that's
So
what they
here's the
said. Yeah,
thing.
after the 33rd. But you're saying that that's not okay. Go
No,
ahead.
yeah. Check it. So you got the Scottish Rite and the York Rite, right? These are the two pathways to it. You get to the 33rd, and then what happens is, and you got to be 50 or up.
Years old.
Once, yeah, once you reach the 33rd, whatever ritual path that leads you down, you put the Masonic Bible down, and you pick up the Quran, and you put the Shriner's hat on, which is the fez. The
Wow.
Fez, but the Shriners believe that
Yeah, the
they're
red
here to
fez.
protect. They're here. They believe they're here to await the birth of the Mahdi. They're here to protect the Mahdi when he's born. This is what the Shriners their whole secret thing is about. You see what I'm saying?
Fascinating.
So so when you hear the people talking about the devil worship or the this or the that, that's either them trying to throw you off or they haven't been given the highest degrees, because the highest degrees it leads to the Shriners. And the Shriners is
Mm,
all about protecting the Mahdi when he's born, because remember, they were chased underground because they were clandestine Muslims. So
yeah,
Masonry is the clandestine practice of Islam, coded for the Christian world, for the people that live in the Christian world who don't want to be persecuted. That's the secret clandestine practice of Islam that they're trying to practice. And then when they get to the third degree, because Masonry is all about squaring up your person, your being,
yeah,
squaring
yeah,
up, being on your
yeah.
square.
Character.
That's adab, that's Islam.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? When you be like, I'm a traveling man, did you walk across the blazing hot sand desert? Because that's what they had to do when they was
Mm,
going in to fight in the Crusades and then coming back. You see what I'm saying? If you watch
mm,
John Wick, see,
mm-hmm.
this is why I talk about the movies.
Yeah, yeah, it's
See,
all there. It's all
bruh,
there, bro. And
so
TV show.
the CIA and every spy agency comes from the assassin culture.
Mm,
The assassin culture start as the Hashashin,
the
who
what?
originally come from the tribe of Hashim, the
Benny
Hashashin.
Hashim.
Yeah, they come from that tribe originally, but they are the assassins. That's what started the ninjutsu, comes from the assassin, the Hashashin, right? Which is pretty much the ancient Muslim order of assassins. You see what I'm saying? The spy agency. You know what I'm saying? I forgot the dude name, but he used to get I think he was from Egypt or something like that, who started it. But the point is, the Knights Templar and all of them, they come in contact with these assassins, with the Hashashin, who are keepers of the secrets, right? So when you trace any spy agency culture, ninjutsu, all that stuff comes from the Hashashin, right?
Wow.
The assassins. In
Keepers of
John
the Sea.
Wick, it's all about the assassins. That's what they are. It's a movie
Mm,
about assassins.
correct.
So when they get to the guy who's above the table, remember the hand under the table? It's like a
Yeah.
difference. You got the hand under the table and then above the table and all that. The top guy was some dude in the desert in Morocco.
Mm,
That represent that, yo, at the highest of the assassin order is the
mm,
Moors in the desert. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
That's where they get it
yeah.
from. When you watch that movie, I think it was the second one,
Second one?
when he's trying to get out of, like, cause they trying to kill him. Like he went incommunicado. You know what I'm saying? Like they was like,
Yeah.
yo, no, he had everybody chasing him. So he had to get to the guy at the top. And the guy at the top was a Moor in Morocco in the desert. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, this is fascinating. This is truth. Like, this is like reality.
Yeah. I mean,
This is like,
you can
yeah, like this is,
research it. It's there.
for sure. Like I met Freemasons. I actually was gonna go like they have like Tuesday night dinners at the
Mm-hmm.
lodge.
Mm-hmm.
They got one in every city. So
Mm-hmm.
I've been contemplating, but now I feel like I'm just gonna go.
Yeah, I
Just-
mean, all they're gonna do is try to recruit you and tell you how beneficial it is. Because what happens is they create brotherhoods and they help each
yeah,
other get in
exactly.
positions of power and stuff like that. That's why you have a lot of the U.S. presidents and stuff like that with master masons and things like that. You know what I mean? A lot of people
Yeah,
came down to founding the United States. They were masons. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
and that's
The founders
why,
are Masons. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, but they were influenced. That's why they were also was influenced by Islam. Like I'm gonna do like a Zoom joint tomorrow on that actually. So I'm gonna have people tune in on me actually
yeah,
breaking down American history and
yeah,
how it's related to Islam and the Moors and how present they were in the very beginning. So this whole narrative that Islam is foreign to America is pure propaganda. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like if you start a company with somebody, right? Like America was founded to end the Crusades.
Yeah,
That's what it was doing.
they pulled a Elon. They took the
That's what I'm
Tesla and
saying.
like, yeah, no, it's my Tesla. It's like, no, there's a history behind that. There's
Exactly.
a founder, there's a connection. Like you mentioned, the Moroccans and acknowledging America to begin with and creating that. So there's a lot of power in that. But like, yeah, you don't. Yeah,
And the
I
reason
mean,
that
that's
treaty is important, the reason that treaty is important is because it's the first agreement between the Europeans, the European Christians, and the Muslims that sets the standard for how Muslims are supposed to relate with the United States. You see, that's why
mm,
it's significant. You see what I'm saying? Because they used that treaty also in the Spanish American War when the Bangs of Moro, the indigenous people out there in the Philippines during the Spanish American War, it was fighting them. And
yeah,
the US used the treaty with the Sultan of Morocco at the time, like, yo, what we gonna do about these people? He's like, they recognize me as an Islamic authority out there. And as long as y'all respect their religious freedoms, then I'll tell them to stand down. So that it just
yeah,
shows you that how these agreements were first starting to be developed between the U.S. There was already going on between Europe and the Muslims, but as far as the United States, that sets the standard precedence of how Muslims,
yeah. And then you see that trend, right? You see that with the petrodollar in 1971. This constant dependence on
right,
Muslim countries to help stabilize America. Like
exactly,
it's a
exactly,
constant
exactly,
pattern that you're noticing. It's just not being acknowledged on the surface, but like on the back end, there is no America without the petrol back end.
exactly,
Like there is none. Like
exactly.
so, this constant need of like dependence on these Islamic
On the
countries,
Muslim world, yeah, on the Muslim
yeah, on the
world.
Muslim world is phenomenal. I mean, it's like it's right there, and
They have
yeah,
a bust of Prophet Muhammad in the Supreme Court. They have a statue of him. Now, we don't make statues, but they made a statue calling him one of the greatest lawmakers. So when you hear people talk about,
wow,
"Oh, we're going to ban Sharia and this and that, he's a great, they honor him. The U.S. honors him as a great lawmaker, man. It's all propaganda.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you know that with was it who was it that had the Bible? One of the founding fathers,
Thomas Jefferson, he had a
Thomas
Quran.
Jefferson. Yeah. So that goes to show like how influential it is, whether we like it or not. Uh, yeah, it's flawless, man. Damn, damn.
Yeah,
Okay, so
bro.
with the petro, with the churning of the dollar, and kind of transitioning back into the finances
Hmm.
and seeing the shift now from the fiat currency to crypto, essentially, the CBDC, stable coins. What are your thoughts on this transition? Do you see it just as another system of control, manipulation? Is it a way for the central banks to just essentially remove the middleman of commercial banks and kind of now create a mass surveillance and mass control over finances? Or is this actually a system that can harness good, harness sovereignty, protection, security, trust? What are your thoughts? Or is it a little bit of both? It depends
Yeah, I
on
think it's a little bit of everything.
who
Yeah,
controls it.
I think it's a little bit of all of that. But the thing about it is, I think it's a little bit all that, but here's the thing you got to consider. When they talking about the crypto is put it like this. The Russians just came out and said the plan that the US has is to pump the 37 trillion US debt into crypto. Like it's just like the greatest pump and dump. Remember when we was talking about it yesterday, the other show, we was
Yeah,
like, yo, yeah, I can see it's brilliant. So what
yeah,
they're
the yield, the
saying is
bonds, like the debt and the
right.
bonds. Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
what they're saying is they're going to dump $37 trillion of US debt into crypto and then pull a rug. Like the greatest pump and dump of all times. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the plan. And to wipe out the debt. You know what I mean? To be
Yeah,
debt free. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the power is in the technology. Like I've been saying, the technology of peer-to-peer transaction is where the power to the people is at. But when you
mm,
got speculation on top of that, which is the banks and the other markets and stuff like that, that's what creates the influx of the price volatility of it going up or down, right? And so
yeah,
that is what can be manipulated, and that's what is going to be manipulated, right? So I
yeah.
definitely think that that is the plan. Like, there's really no way to get rid of the $37 trillion debt unless you
Nah.
pump it all into crypto and do a pump and dump. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense. Like, the US is going to be like, pull off the greatest Ponzi scheme ever, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? With
Mm,
Russia, allegedly. But I can see that happening. It makes sense. How you going to wipe out the 37 trillion in debt?
Or you can extend it with stable coins globally, no?
Well,
Because
the
you have the
stable
stable coins
coin
backing the USD, which is essentially what they're already doing. There's no real
with
money.
the
It's all
petrodollar.
digital dollar.
Right.
Yeah, it's already happening. So it's just
Yeah.
essentially rebranding it under
Right.
stable coin. Because I'm like, this, but you're removing commercial banks. And now you, instead of having the middleman loan it, you're just giving all the power to central bank. All of it
Right.
goes to them and they don't have to worry about it. And they just directly communicate with people and businesses. So I don't really see any change, and then they just get more surveillance. They have more control over your spending. They can
Well,
monitor.
that's
That's
a,
eagle
but
eye.
that
That's essentially
but that's if it's a That's if it's a CBDC. Trump passed a law to ban CBDCs.
really.
Yeah. So pull that up. See, yeah, like yeah, he
That's
CBDC
huge.
is
That's
see,
actually huge.
CBDCs is programmable and controllable. You see what
Wow,
I'm
you're not
saying?
lying. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
January 23rd, 2025. Whoa, that's huge. That's huge, bro.
right. No,
That
that's what I'm
tells me a
saying.
lot about where he's at in terms of understanding,
Exactly.
acknowledging the flaws of like the federal. I know he's trying to get rid of Powell. He's really at war with the Federal Reserve.
Yeah,
I mean,
because you
that's
got
what
to
it.
think about it. If he passes that, I mean, they
Wow,
can
that's
control his
interesting.
money.
No, no, I know, but I just thought like he was a pawn. But like he's actually, if he's really going after the banks, that the three-headed monster, like he's legit trying to remove the power of the banks and
Yeah,
understanding their.
one thing that's the thing, man, about the banking cartel globally. It's like, yeah, it seemed like Trump is the one fighting the central bankers to a degree, because no one has ever forced the
Nah,
Federal Reserve to lower the interest rate and do
yeah,
some of the things he's doing. That's because he got debanked. Remember, they
yeah,
had
yeah, he
shut
did.
him out of the bankers.
He
So
understood.
everything he does is with a vengeance, right?
Yeah.
So the CBDCs is off the table for now because that's what
Mm,
you have to worry about as far as the programmable money. Like the
exactly.
CBDCs, ones that was programmable. Regular crypto isn't, unless it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
programmed that way by the central banks.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so
But
the crypto,
no, no, it's just crazy that they call it the stable coin, and it's anything but stable. Like the
right,
branding
right,
is
right.
so funny because like
Well, I'll
it's
put it to
just
you.
it's a central bank on steroids. Like it's everything we're seeing, and they're essentially blaming commercial banks and middlemen, which is what AI
Mhm,
technology is, right? It just
mhm,
removes middleman in every industry, and they're saying,
right.
no, just give us all the power, and then we'll
Mhm.
make. And it's like the opposite. They're gonna have full autonomy, full transparency, and seeing everyone's like transactions. They'll have control over your money, and then that's when you get into like the
But see,
Black Mirror, right? That's where
but
you get
that's what
into
I'm
like
saying though. The
universal basic
CBDCs
income.
is what you can do that with. You can't do that with
Correct,
regular crypto.
correct. Yeah, 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 for sure.
And the stable coins existed before the US made them legal, right?
Yeah.
Because like in the crypto world, if you want to make an exchange of something and you don't want to like be clear on the exchange of the value, you'll be like, pay me in crypto, but you'll
Hmm.
transfer that crypto to to something that represents the US dollar as a stable coin, as a measure of. It's just like the petrodollar. It's just like
Hmm.
how it's a
Exactly.
global currency reserve is what a stable coin is. You see, so the way the US is using the stable coin is it allows them to say, you know what, forget petrodollar. We
Hmm.
got stable coin. We own we now shifted from the petrodollar to being the basis of trade in crypto, which the
Hmm.
volume eventually is going to be bigger than all markets. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah.
while I'm not saying the US is giving up the dollar reserve element, them getting in the business of making it legal to have the stable coin props the dollar up as the basis or
Yeah, you
the
solidify the dollar. You make the dollar
right,
is not the new petrol, and
right,
the stable coin is the new dollar, just digitally.
right.
And you completely remove all
100%.
dependence on Saudi, and like you just now completely fully transfer into the digital world. I mean, that's and you allow globally everyone to have access to it, similar to like the
Exactly.
crypto. It's like it's the
100%.
same world again. It's this history, and if they're able to do this, which is why the technological war between the East and the West is really going to set the stage for the next 100 years, because whoever can establish themselves will be the ones who can determine which one's legitimate, right? Like it just there's gonna be a powerhouse. So yeah, this is huge. I mean, this is why they're putting all in. But I didn't realize Trump was. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
that's phenomenal. But you're right. He dealt with it. He personally went through it. So
Yeah, yeah,
he understands the power that they have, and central banking would just make them unstoppable.
exactly, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. Giving them that type of power, like this is what the
yeah,
CB, which again, it don't mean it's not going to be down the line. So it's just that Trump's not the one that's going to push it. It might be JD Vance or somebody else might come through and be like, it's all good, or somebody
mm,
else, or they may not. But for now,
yeah.
it's dead in the water. You know what I'm saying? For now,
Wow, that
the
is fascinating,
CBDC
man.
part.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah, and then
saying?
you're seeing like yeah, and I think that's important too, because like the elites, oftentimes we try to villainize them, but they deal with the same issues when it comes to the banking
Oh,
and the central
absolutely.
bank, the Federal Reserve. Like they have the same issues, just in a different manner. Like because they value sovereignty and their money, and you know what I mean. Like there is a uniting factor when it comes to like people in general, and recognizing that like the banks, learning about the banks really put things in perspective. I mean, it's like it's not even it's just such a an illusion, you know, even the names, the way they name things, the Federal Reserve, nothing federal about it, not it's not tied to the government. You know what I mean? Like it's just such a you don't even question it because it seems like stable coins. Like it's brilliant
Hmm.
in one regard, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. You're like, oh my
Hmm.
God, this is like
Right.
yeah, it's I think it's so
So before
yeah,
you go, let me say this: when you say elites, uh, there's like
billionaires.
layers, but there's layers to it. Like the show Billions, that was about him. At one point, he had to go to war with the banks
Mm,
because he wanted to start a bank because he was like, "Yo, that's the house. Like the house never loses." You see, so
mm,
the banking cartel, the bankers, those are the people who control the world. So people always talk about your Rothschilds
yeah,
and your Rockefellers and these
Carnegie's.
people, yeah, these people are billionaires. Like they're elite. Don't get me wrong, right? But then you got the Orsini family from Italy.
What? Now
The
you about to get me
Orsini.
assassinated, bro.
Yeah, I
All
know,
right, good.
bro. I know
The what?
we're going too far right now, but we there. Like I shouldn't even be saying these people's names, but
You tell me
we talk about the banks. It's like,
like
yo, you know what I'm
Lord
saying?
Voldemort.
Nah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're so important, bro. We gotta call it
Right.
the small hats or the big hats. Yeah, we're gonna go back to that,
Yeah,
bro.
we got to.
Like
Like,
I don't even want to Google them. Man.
no, you
Yeah,
got to though. I love to pull it up. We'll pull them up.
you put it on your computer. I need to get Brave. I need to get the Brave browser
Yeah,
on my computer.
yeah, yeah.
I'll
That's
do
what
it on my
I'm on
phone.
doing.
Yeah, I gotta use Brave on that. That was crazy. That just sounds like a name that you know what I mean? I just felt the energy shift. I said, ain't no way, bro. That
You see my,
especially in this day and age, if there's a name I haven't heard already, I'm just like, yo, that's they're like in the
yeah.
cut. Like that's
So
crazy.
yeah, so
All
the
right, let me see.
Orsini family, the Orsini are a powerful and historic Italian noble family, particularly influential in Rome and central Italy from the Middle Ages through the Renaissance and beyond. The family produced three popes, many cardinals, and prominent political military figures, including warriors and statesmen. They held extensive property and were often involved in the significant political conflicts of their time, such as the rivalries between the Orsini and the Colonna family. And so you got them, and then you got the Medici. Now, the Medici, you can go check them out. That's no, I'm just
Uh,
saying. There's a lot of other ones, but
I hope these people are watching. I appreciate this. Bro. This is
I'm gonna
like
take it off.
this
But
is
yeah,
real. Yeah,
nah, for
yeah,
sure. Then you
yeah.
got the
Okay.
Medicis. The Medici family is, and it's when me and my wife was in Italy, we went to Florence. I took a picture by
Mm,
where the Medici house used to be, or where it's at
mm,
now still. But like, so the Medicis, you can go to Netflix, three season episode, excellent TV show about the banking
mm,
family, the Medicis.
mm,
You even have the Medicis in the show. It's a show that came on Stars, and they had a Moor in there too. And the Medicis had a Moor in their family too.
mm,
Medici's Medici. Yeah, but it's a Netflix show on the Medici family, and there's this and Da Vinci's Demons is a show that came out on Stars about Leonardo da Vinci and what he was doing
mm.
back in those days. And one of the main families in there was the Medici family, right? So, like, you have Like those are the elite, and they control the banking cartels. And then it's not just them. You got people like in Korea, Japan. They have old emperors. They still have royalties and nobility. You know what I
Wow.
mean? So like, there's a difference between like the Elons and the regular billionaires that we hear about, and the people
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
never hear about or that you don't even
yeah.
know exist. They're the elites who run the banking cartels. You see what I'm
Mm.
saying? Who put central banks in every country. And if any country refuses the central bank, that's when you see them go to war. The only countries in the
That's
world
when you seen the
with
John
no
Wicks
central
come
bank,
out.
yeah, the only ones you don't see with central bank is Iran and
Mm.
one other one. They probably like like maybe Syria, but Syria done fell, so they
Nah,
done
nah,
took over
nah.
Syria, so they
There's
about
no
to
way
have
they don't
one.
have it.
But
Iran,
Iran, hmm
was it North Korea?
North Korea, and which other one?
Nah, I'm trying to see.
Yeah, let me
Iran
see.
and what says Iran has a central bank.
Yeah, but not a like the central bank from the central banking.
Oh, like run by them.
Yeah, run by the Rothschild joint. Countries without a Rothschild bank is yeah, here you go.
Oh,
Let me share my screen
yeah,
with
it
you.
says the seven remaining is Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, Bolivia, and Syria.
There we go. Yep.
And
Hold on.
Abkhazia. I don't even know where that's at.
This is the map of how that looks. So these are the only
Yeah,
places that
exactly.
don't have a central bank. And now you could now this helps you
Georgia.
understand a few things, right?
A lot of things. 'Cause especially when you
So
look at who didn't have central banks prior to the wars of like the last 20 years.
this represents the unconquered territory of the world. These are
Literally.
the last places on earth that don't have a Rothschild central bank.
So China has a Rothschild central bank?
Yeah, I would suppose so.
Georgia. Yeah, Abkhazia is a breakaway region of Georgia. That's crazy too. Georgia's always been like a calling for me. I don't know why.
mm,
Wow. So
mhm.
Russia is really like interesting.
They don't have a Rothschild central bank.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Everywhere else, the Rothschilds has a central bank there. You see what I'm saying? So those are the places that are like the villains of the world. You know what I'm
Yeah, it's on a
saying?
high alert when it comes to
Yeah,
warfare.
right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Get spicy, man, and get real out here, man.
Oh yeah, it's exciting though. It's fun. Like when you're able to see things for what they are, like you
Yeah,
said, it's almost like an out of body experience. You're not emotionally tied to it. You're seeing it. It's
yeah,
like a game. You
yeah.
know what I
It
mean?
is.
And every day it is like every day you're like you're leveling up. You're seeing the moving pieces and like
Yeah,
you're trying to figure it out. You're seeing the quest. That's why it's like you know what I mean. The people that actually live in it don't play video games. Like, but the ones that are already in
exactly.
tune, like
It's like a video game.
you're
You
like
know what I'm
I'm already
saying?
in the simulation. I'm already the character, right? Like the incels and stuff, they don't really realize it, so they live vicariously through the game and the
Right.
digital world and that's where they'll head. But like in reality, this is real life.
This is the real simulation. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? This is the real deal. This is the side,
yeah.
the main question, the side question.
This
Like,
is it.
notice the Quran tells us this life is a test.
Mm,
If you look up synonyms, you can look up
mm,
and see that game is another synonym for test. You know what I'm saying? Because you get a score at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
It's just that it's a serious game. It's a game of life and death. You know what I'm saying? But a game nonetheless.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, I
yeah,
know
bro.
exactly.
You know what I
Even
mean?
like going back to the there was a hadith, which is why like a lot of it I like to just funnel through the lens of like Islam, right? And
Absolutely.
it just makes it so much easier to validate truth, which is why Ray Dalio's like 80 year to 100-year turning point is it aligns with the hadith of like every 100 years a khalifa, a new revival
Yeah, yeah,
is yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah, like this aligns with that philosophy, but through the lens of economics, right? We're talking
hmm
about but it's also a spiritual revival. We see
Yeah.
that. We see like the uprising of religion within the youth, like
hmm
gravitating towards purpose, seeking meaning, and realizing life is more than working 9 to 5 and being a Hermosi or what are those? You know what I mean? Like there's more to it than just money and materialism or Andrew Tate, like just hyper materialistic individuals, and just being grounded in something more lasting, more eternal. And I think that's like what we're seeing on a level. And on the opposite end, you're seeing the opposite, right? Obviously, with the yin and the yang, you're gonna see that, and you're gonna see the jokers. You're gonna see people who just completely give up on purpose and just self-sabotage. So yeah, I think that's fascinating. So I think yeah, Ray Dalio, shout out to him, man. Shout out to his book. If anyone's
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
go
for
out there.
sure.
Principles is an incredible book. He also talks about the archetypes, in terms of being able to use history as a lens to identify archetypes, like you mentioned, like with this the different superheroes or the villains. He's able to see it because that allows him to then deal with them accordingly. You know what I mean? Like he talks about that as on the Diary of a CEO, which I thought was fascinating. Yeah, man.
Things, if you look at things from a spiritual lens, right? Because a lot of times people don't realize that there's like a echo in the universe where things iterate a certain way. And like the physical is the slowest vibration. It's the dense. Like,
Blast. It's a manifestation. That's the
yeah,
end.
exactly.
Yeah.
100%. And it's the slowest vibration. So like the higher something vibrates, the less visible it is, right?
hmm
In that regard.
hmm
So if we look at, like we talked about melon in the last show, right? We talked
hmm
about melon in the last show, and we talked about how it can absorb radio waves, microwaves, everything from the visible light spectrum, gamma rays, because there's a fungus in Chernobyl where there was a meltdown in the 80s, Chernobyl,
Yeah, the
a
bomb.
nuclear
Yeah.
meltdown. There's a
Yeah.
fungus growing out there that's taking gamma rays, the radiation, and converting it to energy. And it's a black mushroom, and it's the melanin
Black
in the
fungus.
mushroom, yeah, that's allowing it to do that. So
Wow. The
this is a cosmic receiver.
cladosporium. I can't even name it.
Yeah,
Cladosporium.
something. So I'm just pointing out that I'm setting a foundation of the fact that we're receiving cosmic data, right?
Wow.
We're
Yeah.
receiving cosmic data constantly, right? And data about the environment around us, right? Even people who don't have as much melanin as we do, they still have some of it, right? So,
Wow, this is fascinating, bro. You're dropping a
yo,
gem right now.
no,
This
I'm
is
just
yeah, the
saying,
black fungus is crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead. I'll read
it's
this after.
converting all
Go ahead.
that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So only point I'm making out is we're being influenced. There's something driving us. There's data we're receiving from somewhere. And this is why we see certain archetypes that always appear in history. And it's
hmm
because we're acting out a role here. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
Like we're living out a drama, a play
Yeah,
under the stars. Like that's why Prophet Suleiman alayhi salam
I
said,
found.
there's nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? Everything that has been said and done has already been done before. So that lets you know that we're just in a cycle of acting out a particular role. And science, the quantum physics has proven that the past, present, and future is happening at the same time simultaneously and independently
Yeah,
of each other. I know people can't wrap their mind around it,
the
but my whole
quantum
point
physics.
in quantum physics. So the point
Yeah,
I'm making about all of that is that, like, yo, we're gonna see the same thing. They say history repeats itself. So we're going to keep
yeah,
seeing the same type of characters pop up over and over and over again. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's just a part of it. It's just a part of it. You know what I'm
yeah. And
saying?
you see it again, going back to the movies, Marvel with Ant-Man and the quantum realm and them
Yeah.
depicting that reality, the
Right.
multiverse and all of that is we know that to be true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yo, they,
we
they
know
put it
this.
in a movie to entertain and teach.
Quantumania. Yeah.
See what I'm saying? To teach. And who ran the quantum world?
Was it the black dude? What was his
Kang
name?
the Conqueror.
King the Conquer. Yeah.
Right. So here's the joke, right?
And how did he fall?
That white girl in real life. Yeah. So but check it, right? So the joke is they be like, yo, we was kings. They be like, oh, there's a meme out there from the far right when they want to crack jokes on black folks. It'd be like, when we were kings, when we used to be kings, they say we were kangs with a K with an A. So they say Kangz. But that's literally the name of Kang the Conqueror.
King the Conquer.
The irony in that, right? You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
a
that's
black man
powerful.
ran the quantum realm.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Well,
Yeah.
even beyond that, though, the whole point is, I said all that to say, like, yo, we're going to keep seeing the same things, and under just different bodies, different times, but we're going to see the same energy. That's my point. The character,
Mm,
we see the same energy manifesting here in cycles over and over and over again. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
So we have, and this is why it's so important to know it, so we can chart how we're going to go further this time around and not make the same mistakes that we made in the last
yeah,
cycle, where we was developed ourselves at a certain level technologically as a species. It's not the first time we developed ourselves technologically. So, and even to get to that type one level, you got to push past the desire for humans to control one another at the level that they are. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Which is where you got your central banking. All of these are just control mechanisms and methods to keep humanity stagnant. You see what
yeah,
I'm saying? Because they feel like if they don't control it, then we won't be able to be productive. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
And there's some truth to that.
There is
There's some
some
truth to
truth
that.
to it.
There's
Yeah,
some truth to that. Because, getting humans to be productive was not an easy thing.
yeah,
When you talk about coming from a hunter gatherer, you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody's thinking about, yo, I got enough food for the winter, I'm good.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
nah, we got to do this, we got to do that. It's like, how do you get people to do things? Right. So,
yeah,
like, then slavery and other things be like, okay, how do you punish people who do stuff outside of what y'all agreed is going to be? That's where you get slavery from or imprisonment. You see, so it's like
yeah.
certain things
Well, those
are,
are just tactics of fear. Fear and anger, what is like the easiest way. It's like the lowest hanging fruit to get people to
yeah,
react.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the all else fails rule.
Yeah,
It's what you depend on when you can't convince somebody nicely. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. It's like the art of war with like the Chinese and their philosophy of war of like having the river to your back always. It's like you have
Right,
to. There has to be, and that's human nature. So like,
right,
how do you do that? I mean, that's the question of mankind. I mean, that's the question we
right.
haven't been able to. That's why religion is so empowering when it's aligned with understanding in terms of utilizing it to self-regulate, right? In
Mm-hmm,
terms of
mm-hmm,
keeping your own self in check and focus on controlling yourself as opposed to others. I think that's what
mm-hmm,
allows you to project that. Once you realize it's all internal, you then don't have the need because you know God is in
mm-hmm,
control of all of it, everything else.
mm-hmm,
And if you do
mm-hmm.
that, then you're unified. And it's like, almost like we've been given countless opportunities to advance into the type one civilization every 100 years, every
Exactly.
generation, and we keep, and that's the mercy of God, but we keep fumbling it. We keep
Mm-hmm.
falling into the same pits, same
Yeah,
traps.
yeah. And two things. Dalio also he was inspired. He was inspired. I had to make sure I got that right.
Yeah.
He is inspired by Ibn Khaldun, who came
Mm,
up with the system of showing you what happens, the stages of a society before its rise and its decline. And it was Ibn
mm,
Khaldun, I believe, that said, he was the one that said, hard times
mm,
make strong men. Strong men
mm.
make good times. Good times make weak men, and weak men make hard times. That's also
Good,
what I'm, huh?
strong, good men. Wait, say that one
Okay,
more
so,
time.
so it says,
Hard times.
hard times make strong men.
Yeah,
Strong men make good times.
yeah,
Good times make weak men,
yeah.
and weak men make hard times.
Mm. And
So
that's the
again,
fourth turning. That's where we're at now.
right. And it's also correlated with the decline in masculinity.
That's
This is,
weak men.
yeah,
Yeah, when he left.
exactly. You see what I'm saying?
And that's the hard. Now we're looking at the hard times, looking at the civil unrest, the war, the bloodshed.
Mm-hmm. Right. You know what I'm saying?
And meanwhile, the whole world has already experienced the hard times. And now they're
Right.
transitioning into, you know what I mean, what they're creating on that end. And
Is
we're about to experience the
exactly.
backlash of our weak men. Like we haven't
Exactly.
experienced hard times in America, bro. We have no idea what that means.
No, not
We've
since the
only seen it.
depression. Maybe not since the depression. That probably was the last time as a collective America had like
Mm,
some kind of abundance issue. But again, that was more politically, socio-political and economic driven, not necessarily famine
correct.
in the land or anything like that. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
war.
Yeah, or war.
Or
Right.
bloodshed.
You know what I'm
Yeah, on that
saying?
level. I think that's where
So
we're yeah, that's where we're headed. Even when he was talking about it, he was like, yeah, that's like everyone's already given up on the UK. and we know UK is almost like a mirror to
Hmm.
what's coming in the West, right?
Hmm.
I mean, we're doing our best. I think a lot of people are doing their best to kind of revive it, but there are globalists who are very adamant on ensuring that America falls.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's
100%.
what we're seeing, and that's the warfare that we're realizing, man. And then I got this black fungus thing is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Says black fungus thrives in the Chernobyl exclusion zone by converting radioactive energy into metabolic energy through a process called radiosynthesis, utilizing its melanin pigment to absorb and harness gamma radiation. Meaning
I
the black
Hulk.
pigment, melanin in the fungus cell's wall absorbs ionizing radiation such as gamma rays.
Now, gamma rays is a nuclear.
Yeah.
Now, listen, this is why I say, yeah, they probably won't, the world probably won't use nukes. It's just a deterrent.
Mm,
Because maybe in the initial blast, but what the science suggests is that melanin absorbs radiation. So even in a radioactive environment, black people or people with melanin, heavily melanated people, going to survive. But at the same
mm,
time, when you look at Hulk, what happened to the Hulk? What made the Hulk the Hulk? He
mm,
had an accident in the lab and he absorbed gamma rays. You can't absorb gamma rays without melanin. That's why he was a white man that turned green.
mm,
Because he took on the gamma rays, and look, it made them strong and rageful, right? You see what I'm saying? But
mm.
it was gamma rays, it was nuclear energy that the melanin absorbs. You see? So all this
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
gonna always correspond with us in some kind of way, shape, or form. Ain't no way around it. You see, because
yeah,
we are the default by nature. But and this also shows why it's important for us to be having this conversation and why it's important for us to raise the frequency, because it's something that we're supposed to do. It's actually our responsibility. Like, you know what I mean? Like when the creator made man and said, I'm giving you dominion over this, you're the ones responsible. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like bloodline descendant type joint. So yeah, man. I mean, looking at how all of this stuff coincide, man, like we got to transform the world, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
you got to
Yeah,
take this
absolutely.
information and get people acclimated to the reality of what's actually happening. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah,
transmute it into gold for their minds, people that are ready to receive it. I think that's what we're doing here. But I will say, because you mentioned King to Conquer, and I was thinking like, man, I don't know if it's a coincidence. The superheroes, the black superheroes, the most powerful ones, tend to fall off screen. I don't know if that's a coincidence. Like with King to Conquer and the white girl, obviously, Black Panther passed away due to cancer. You had like the whole Terrence Howard and Don
yeah, yeah,
Cheadle.
yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, you know, there's
I'm like, yeah, that's
a
interesting to
Hollywood
me.
thing. Yeah, it's a Hollywood thing. Like uh
It's
there's
interesting to me,
like
bro. Cause like even with my kids, like when I was having like the Black Panther, I was watching it, and they were like watching. I caught myself telling them like he passed away, but it was weird because they were like they didn't know how to separate.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like they didn't know how to like separate reality with the. So it was like, oh, your black superhero passed away. Like,
mhm,
that's
yeah,
weird.
yeah. That's how they do
I
it,
don't.
man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know, like I don't know how if they just if that's. I'm not gonna say it's intentional, but like it definitely is disempowering.
Yeah, it's
Even like
something with that.
what?
Because look how
Yeah,
many Batmans we had. Look how many
yeah,
Supermans we had. We could only
yeah,
get one Black Panther. Yeah, I
yeah.
mean, he
And then
died. You
now it's
couldn't
like
bring him
the
back.
woman.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? I mean, in the comics, she did at one point take up the
eventually.
mantle, but they didn't have to use that opportunity. They just could have recasted the role
Yeah,
and did their own thing. They didn't have to do it like that. But again, you don't want to put, you don't want that image. That image is not going to work well for the people who don't want that image, which is a black man superhero saving the day, match. You know, they don't really want that out there like that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And this is why you see the feminized, or if it's not the feminized version, it's like the super coon version, like somebody who has to
But
be.
there is a feminized version though. Even the one with the with like wow, the one with the that flop with Angelina Jolie and like that super cast of marbles. Remember? and it was the only black
Oh,
dude.
yeah, yeah, the Eternals, the Eternals.
The
Right,
only black dude was gay.
right. Yeah, exactly.
I walked
100%.
out the movie. I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And they get you to fall in love with the dude, like, oh, and then like midway, and they got
You
a
find like,
husband. Yeah, I'm like, oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Nah, you got me fucked up. Nah,
yeah.
but like, yeah, that is true. The
Yeah, that's
feminization
how
of
they
that,
do it. You know what I'm
because it's too
saying?
powerful. You can't. Yeah.
You can't. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying?
the
So
eternal.
they have those they have all of those type of little control mechanisms on there to make sure that the optimized image of a black man out there in the media is not going to be something that is heavily out there in the airwaves. They want that dichotomy being there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Okay. No, that's fact. I'm seeing that. Wow. All right, man. Clarity for tomorrow. So based on this conversation, economics. I mean, Charlotte, we'll find out tomorrow. Hopefully, the rates do get cut, as you have
Right.
said, economically. What are
Mhm.
your what is your, I guess, your advice for the
Well, I
viewers
would,
in terms of
yeah,
what
I
to
would say
anticipate,
the
how to
insight.
personally.
I would say, insight wise, first thing is clean up. What I would suggest everybody do is save. If you don't have it, save up $350. If you can't get a lawyer, you let ChatGPT guide you through the process, or some type of AI system guide you through the process. Trademark your name.
Mm,
Trademark your name and get it out of as many databases as you can. You know what I'm saying? Start being very intentional about your privacy and your data and your information. Okay, that's number one. Because the database is being built for Palantir in a certain way where it's like you want control over your data so that only the stuff you want about you is in that data. You can do a lot of negotiating and stuff like that, but if you got a trademark on your name, now you own the commercial rights to your name and how that your name is attached to other data and things like that. I would say that's number one. Number
no, it's
two,
facts because data is going to become the new currency as the
that's the
job
commodity.
market. No, no, I know. I'm saying, but as the job market becomes more apparently non-existent, and we move into like the digital world, Web3, like your data, the value of your data, assuming you're someone that's actually aspiring to be something, is going to be your greatest currency. So like protecting that
Absolutely.
is where you want it to be. You want to value it, like you said, like a commodity, like gold.
Yeah. Because even
That's
when
your
it comes
energy.
to these, like I got a letter from TransUnion telling me
Mm,
that my social security number and my date of birth was accessed on their platform illegally, right? Like somebody hacked them. I don't know if they hacked everybody else, but they said they didn't access my report, my credit report, and this, that, and the third, but they accessed it. These places are getting hacked. They got all the like if you
yeah, they are.
pull up a credit monitoring service, you'll see all data that's leaked on the dark web and all this and all that. So you want
Yeah,
to control this stuff because this is gonna be something that's very valuable to you. So it's not just about like one platform. It's like your data is out there being shared by all types of companies. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Number one. And the reason I'm saying that is
That's
because
that's so powerful, man. No, no, I'm really like I wrote it down because I was like, I don't even have that,
yeah,
but like that's you're right. Like you're so right. Like
yeah.
that is
No,
so valuable.
I'm gonna
That's a
run you through some
gem.
stuff too.
That's a gem right
Offline,
there.
I'm gonna
No,
give you some extra stuff.
okay. And then they can get the most. They can get that on your collective, right? They can get
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah,
more
yeah, yeah,
information
yeah,
on your
yeah, yeah,
channel,
yeah.
your
You can
page.
get
They'll
that.
get that because that's powerful. That's like practical. That's high level. That's something that people are
Yeah,
going to want
yeah,
information on, man. I definitely think that's something
yeah,
I'm interested in. So I know that's going to be powerful for like everyone watching because they're like,
yeah.
how do you do it? So like
I
definitely
think
make
it
that part of your
coincides.
service.
I think it coincides a lot with what you're going to be presenting soon, as far as the full stack human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Things that empower, you know, people to be in ownership and control of themselves. You know, at a
yeah.
certain
Internal
level.
sovereignty.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
And yours is
And
like
controlling your data is
correct.
going to be key to that. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
would say do that first because everything
Okay.
else that's about to happen in the economy is going to be it's going to be a free fall. So now is the time to get as much. If them interest rates drop,
Yeah.
it's going to probably, you know, it might feel like it might have the effect of right when COVID happened, and then everybody, it was just money everywhere. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Right before the recession in 2008.
100%. So get what you can get, turn whatever money you can get into real world assets. Hold some crypto
Mhm.
so that you be able
Yeah.
to operate in the system, the new crypto system that's emerging. Keep
And gives you
very
access to
little.
be remote, gives you access to be flexible.
Yeah,
Crypto, like that
100%.
flex.
Yeah, crypto
That's
gives you
important.
that option, that because if
You
you
want to be
have
able to
money
get
in
out, bro.
crypto, exactly, you got to be able to move. Prioritize mobility
Correct.
and travel light. Like
Right.
now is not the time to buy so many
Now it's time
material
to buy a house.
possessions.
Yeah. Now
You
is
said
not the
what you
time
said?
to buy a house.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
now
now
is
is not
not
the
the time
time
to
to
buy a
like
house.
put all your assets in like
Yeah.
something that's
They
not
they're
able
gonna
to
promote
liquidate
that
it.
now.
No, I
They're
know,
gonna
because that's what
promote
they
that.
want. They want you to be
Yeah,
stuck. They're going
yeah,
100%. That's coming.
yeah,
That's smart.
yeah,
Actually, that's a good. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
You're right.
They want to bring it down because they want people to
Oh
buy more
my
houses. You see what I'm
God.
saying? That's the gift.
And then you're
18
stuck.
months, you won't be able to even afford the house. You're gonna lose it because all the money gonna be going out the economy. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
that
and
like
that's the
that,
one thing that's gonna keep you here, though. Like I think you're touching on something
yeah,
deep. Like they're gonna encourage everyone to buy houses, and once you buy a house, you're locked in. Now you're
you're locked
invested in
in.
the country for better or worse, and that is not where you want to be.
Remember the
Whoa,
video you showed me earlier with the dude?
they're
What
gonna
he
take us
said?
out, bro. This is crazy.
People who don't have a house don't feel invested. So get
Yeah,
a family, get a house, and you feel more
yeah.
invested in the
Tucker
country. Remember?
Carlson, that's like his
No.
thing.
You just sent me a video today on that. You told me to check the dude out. I just watched it, and he said that.
Andre Jeek, Andre, you talking about
I
Andre?
believe so.
This guy, Andre.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
just said that. He
Andre
just
G.
said that.
He's a gem. Anybody out there, this guy is a gem. Yeah.
Yeah, he just said
Yeah, he
that in
did
the
say that.
video.
You're right. Yeah, you want to be lucrative. You want to be able to move.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he said that you want if you buy a house, you're more invested in the country. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
People who don't, they just, they because they don't feel like they're a part of it, they're not going to
yeah,
be invested in the country. You see what I'm
yeah. They're
saying?
more likely to find a place that is invested in valuable. Wow.
Yeah. So he was saying that as a thing that was like, yo, buy, find a way to get invested to ground yourself in the country. Whatever that's just I'm not knocking it, but I'm just saying,
I'm
uh,
knocking it. That's not the way to go, bro. I'll tell you that
I
right
mean,
now.
not if you. Here's the thing, right? For people like us and those who would this would resonate with, it definitely wouldn't be for us. But
It's
for
not.
people who like like you got high dopamine people that's high dopamine, they gotta travel, they gotta move around. People with high serotonin, they like to sit and marinate in a particular place. What I would say for the people who are interested in buying houses, buy a farm, buy land. You
By
know what I mean?
land. Yeah,
Control your food
exactly.
source. Control your
Yeah,
food source.
exactly.
If you're that
Get on
type
that
that's like,
Kyrie
yo,
Irving diet.
man, this is the multimillionaire telling you.
Yeah, that's fact.
The billionaires, they own a lot of land. Bill Gates own a lot of farmland. You see what I'm saying?
China owns a lot of land
China,
too.
you know what I'm saying? I would say, if you're gonna be stable, like if you want to be stationary, buy land and grow some food. Don't buy like a
Smart.
single family home somewhere where it's that wouldn't make sense. The houses are made
Made of
incredibly cheap.
Play-Doh.
Yeah,
Made of Play-Doh, bro. God damn.
straight up
Made of just
sheetrock
God
and
knows what they
wood.
put. These houses is falling apart right after the warranty. It's
Yo,
like it's
I was
sick, sick,
I saw the dude building out and they would do was stapling it. I was like, they building houses
sick,
with
bro.
staplers.
Yes,
They're
literally.
stapling houses together.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You know
These
what I'm
houses
saying?
are
Yeah,
yeah,
bro.
we could get into that, bro.
So
Yeah. That's
yeah,
smart
that's a
though.
whole
No,
nother
you're right.
topic. So I
Yeah,
would
for
say,
sure.
yeah, move light. You know what I'm saying? Have it be as liquid as possible. Have some crypto. Have your gold. Have some silver. You know what I'm saying? And get as much capital as you can to be liquid.
Yeah.
You see, not so that you can just go buy a whole bunch of stuff that's going to make you stuck. And if you're going to buy property, it should be land that you can grow food on in some kind of way.
Or an investment. If it's an investment asset, then that's fine. You want to rent it long term, but not you don't want to. Now is not the time to like anchor yourself anywhere. You really like these
Yeah,
next couple of years
yeah,
is gonna be a lot of moving pieces, and you want to be able to get up and get out as soon as possible. Like
yeah.
that's
You
where the
want to be
real
able to be
power is gonna
mobile.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your mobility and your liquidity is
yeah,
what I'm noticing is your mobility and your liquidity is the two most valuable assets, and control over your data are the three central points that I'm honing in on
mm,
for
it's
the
fact.
next 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Till
Yeah,
2030. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
especially
Controlling your
and you've seen
data.
it. You've seen the elites push for that. That's why blockchain and crypto and Bitcoin is so popular. That's why it's growing amongst the elites because they're understanding the importance of this as well on all
Yeah.
levels. So yeah,
Yeah. That's
yeah,
another thing too we gotta understand about like we explained that there's the highest level when you have your bankers and all that stuff, but everybody that's under them, even if they're
hmm
billionaires, they're like trash to the bankers. Like these people have
correct.
these are like
They're the
trillionaires,
lowest, like how we see the lowest. Like that's them to the elites.
right?
Yeah.
And they nervous because they know how the banks do. Because the banks don't
Mm,
care if you're a millionaire or a billionaire. You're not a banker.
correct.
You're not in the
Yeah.
club. So we'll bankrupt you. We don't care. You're peasants to us, just like everybody else. We let you eat at this level. We let you
Yes.
play at this level. Okay? So they know. This is why they like, yo, what we gonna do? How we gonna do with our money and this, that, and the third? Because they're just like us. Don't get it twisted. If you're
Yeah.
not a banker, you're not truly part of the elite of the world. You're just a
Mm,
human with some money if you're a billionaire, millionaire. You see, because
yeah.
where do they tell you about, oh, I bank here, or this is how the rich do this? They're playing a game that has
Yeah.
been put in place for them as well. So what
Mm,
they're doing with their money is something that gives us the eye to see, okay, we should be moving like that because
correct.
they're like below the bankers too. They're not at that level.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
They're like
saying?
organic goyim.
Right, 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 right. Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
There you go. Yeah, facts.
They're still goyim.
Best way to put it. Best way to put it. Just a different pedigree. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
yeah,
Is
you
that
know what I mean?
data, which is starts with like the trademarking your
Hmm.
name, and then
Hmm.
you said liquidity. And
Yeah,
then when it comes to building revenue, income, go all in digitally, I would say.
yeah, yeah. To
Yeah.
be mobile. Yeah,
Yeah, go all exactly.
yeah,
That's the mobility of it. Like go all in
yeah,
remotely or digitally. If you have a job that's on land, use that to funnel and invest into your digital. Like there should be some type of
yeah.
side project where you're building digitally. That's where,
Right.
again, that's where the world is going. Like whether you like
Hmm.
it or not. So like the
We're
quicker you
here.
can get on with AI, yeah. No, but I'm saying eventually it's just gonna be all here. And like the ones that are not are gonna be on universal basic income and that's it, bro. You're gonna be a slave to the system. Palantir,
Hmm.
like that's gonna be your trajectory, and it's gonna be even harder to get out. Like once you're in there, this is like the like a maybe 2 3 years at most. Like this opening, it's like this door is
Hmm.
opening, like barely,
Yeah.
and then like it's gonna close, and that's
The
how I'm feeling.
database is already being compiled. Like Doge came in and got all the records.
Mm,
Elon, they came in and got all the everybody records. It got everybody stuff.
mm,
Palantir got the
interesting.
150. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's the that was I saw it was a jack move from the
What?
beginning. And they got everybody's governmental data, like real data.
Hey, bro, this nigga got you got me bent right now, bro. You're saying crazy shit.
That's a fact.
I
That's a fact.
know.
It's a fact.
My God.
Palantir already got the 150 billion, right? They already got the 150
Fucking
billion.
nigga. I'm gonna have to start just we're gonna have to start filming like this. You know that Malcolm X nigga, like looking through the window? That's gonna be this is crazy. You're dropping gems on me that I
No,
was
but
not ready
yo,
for.
nah,
Just
it's a
because I have
fact,
so
bro.
many already like I'm already like piecing so many things. So when you drop like something small
Yes.
like that, it really makes a big difference.
Nah,
Like it's
nah,
like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
my
Connected a
God.
couple dots.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
nodes are like, it's like, oh my God, got in and got out.
Got in
And the
and got
scene
out.
is like, oh yeah, we're beefing. Nah, this nigga got what he needed and got
Got in and got out.
fucking Lex
And
Luthor.
then, and then his homie, that's what we dealt with. That's why I always talk about. Remember when we first linked and I was telling you, like, there has to be an answer for the supervillains of the world. I think there's some
Yeah.
supervillains out there.
Wow.
No. So Palantir got the 150 billion to build out the database from the government and all that. Trump gave them 150 billion. So it's already happening. That's why I'm telling people officially own your data, own your
And
name
Sam
so you
Altman,
can make
right?
moves.
Sam Altman got the contract for
Yeah, with Oracle to build the data cloud, yeah, to host it all. So you got Oracle, you got all them working together. You got
yeah,
the
all there together. Yeah, it's all
Oracle, AWS is all tied in. That's why I'm telling people to focus on your data. You see what I'm saying? Because that's where the wealth is at. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like that's where the wealth is at, your data. So you have to really own your data. You see what I'm saying? So you can position yourself to either sue the people that's trading your data or work out a payment deal where you got to pay me to use my data. You see what I'm saying? But
correct,
you can't do that
correct,
if you ain't trademarked and got certain things in place officially, commercially to be moving like that. And then when you set up your trademark, set up a family trust and have the trust own your trademark. You know what I'm saying?
correct.
Like these are some practical things people can do to prepare because
Nah,
if you own your data, you're liquid and you're mobile, that's the position you want to be in.
yeah,
You can
facts.
go and make moves. You can do this. You can do that. You can keep levels of anonymity. You know what I'm saying? You can move in a certain way where you're just not on the chessboard exposed like that. You know what I'm saying? You got
Correct.
some
Without being
resources.
notified, without being aware. Like you have
Yeah,
to, yeah. It's almost like your data
so-
is you in the metaverse, right? And like,
exactly. That's what it
you know, what I
is.
mean, that's you. It's like imagine you were working and didn't even realize it, and you weren't getting paid for it. You weren't being compensated in the real world. That's a slave,
Exactly.
and your data
Exactly.
is just an extension of that. Just so people to
Exactly.
understand how powerful and important it is. Like based on
Exactly.
what you're, it's like, yeah, it's
Why you
facts. Like
think
what
they
you're
want it so
saying is,
much? Why you think
no, I
everybody
know.
wants your data?
Yeah, everything's data driven. Everything, every podcast you
Everything.
go to is like the data says this and that. Like to the point now, they're creating synthetic data. Like that's like the next stage of like super intelligence.
Mm,
Now we don't even need you. We don't even need your data. We have super intelligence. So that's like the next stage that they're moving towards. But
mhm.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Data is that's something we got to hone in on in the collective. That's something you got to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
really
yeah,
expand on because
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's like you said,
Not
it's
for sure.
practical. It's a low hanging fruit. I think expanding on that and the importance of it even for me, I'm like, yeah, that's actually facts. Like this is like putting everything into a practical framework to where everyone can like, okay, because everyone's gonna be like, what do we do? I mean, that's the whole point of the show, right? Like, what do we do? How do we prepare internally and externally?
Right,
Like, how do we
right,
create
right.
that digital sovereign and that internal
Mhm.
sovereign
Right.
to prepare? And I think that's a lot of this may go over the heads of a lot of people, but like the ones that are really on tune with what we're saying,
Yeah.
this is like
They're
this
gonna
is
catch
valuable,
on.
man. They're gonna catch on quick,
Yeah.
man. This
Hmm.
is like, yeah, we got our finger on the pulse. Like this is real stuff.
Yeah.
Like this is just validation for the people that are listening that really understand. Like this is validation. Like this conversation, it shouldn't be nothing new apart from like some of the gems, but overall,
Yeah.
it's just
This is
us
how it
selling it.
is,
Yeah,
man. You know what I'm saying? So, I think that like as far as like my final take on it is that reason I just reason that those things are important is because when we look at the whole plane, the whole chessboard and what's emerging, you want to be positioned a certain way. And that positioning is being able to be mobile. And when I say me be mobile, I mean, if you got to leave the country, you can leave the country. If you got to go to another state, you can go to another state. If you need to run, jump, jog, climb something, pull yourself up, you're in shape enough to do that. So mobility also
oh
includes taking
yeah,
care of your
yeah,
health in a way
yeah,
you want to be mobile in any sense. Because there's so many crazy things, chaos right now. So
yeah.
the best thing you can do in chaos is center yourself and prepare yourself for multiple scenarios and variables,
Facts.
you know?
Yeah,
And then
facts.
having and being liquid means that you're able to access capital whenever you need it, especially in emergency situations or to do the things you need to do. So if you got hard assets that are immovable assets like real estate or something that's going to take months to liquidate or so it's going to be difficult for you to turn that asset into liquidity, you don't want that asset. You know what I'm
Yeah, now's
saying?
time to sell. When interest rates drop, I would sell. I wouldn't even
Yeah.
like that would be the time for me to
Yeah.
sell. That's because that's the highest price you're gonna get. Yeah, you're right.
Another reason they refinance and they dropping the interest rates is so commercial real estate can refinance because
Mm,
it can't refinance at the level it is because like these office buildings, like it's a
vacant.
major real estate collapse happening
Yeah.
on that. And if they're
Yep.
not able to refinance that debt, it's going to bankrupt whole entire cities and states. You know what I'm saying?
And local banks.
Because
It's gonna bank up. It's gonna be a trickle. It's gonna be a effect.
local and regional, because it's the
Correct.
local and regional banks that be
Yeah.
financing the commercial real estate properties more than like the big
Exactly.
banks. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So yeah,
Exactly.
word
Which
up.
might happen anyways, because then that would give all the autonomy to central banks,
Mm,
bro.
mm.
It might,
Well,
you
they
know what I
have
mean,
a
like
they
that.
have. I believe the central banks are in the game. They only want to control the money supply,
Correct.
right? Like they said, like there's a quote that said, if we control a country's currency, we care not who make its laws. The technocracy and the tech bros that's emerging, they're like the bankers don't care about what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah. No.
doing this though on their own volition so that they have a certain level of control that because the bankers don't care about that fear, that's the
Correct.
realm of things. They only care about the money supply. So the
Mm,
game that's left up for these other people is us. We're their game to control everything else. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
yeah.
you just got to be
That makes sense.
positioned properly. Got to be
And
positioned
we'll go into
properly.
that more. And again, yeah, no, we'll go into that more. I mean, I think that's a brilliant way to end it. I think those are practical tips that anyone could do today, including myself. And that, yeah, man, definitely create content and expanding on that. And show like the entire process. Like you said, AI technology can easily kind of guide you through the process of trademarking your name and build up that income online, and then start
Hmm.
expanding, man. Start expanding your network globally, that reach. Start creating, collectives and tribes outside of just one basket, rather, because that's
Hmm.
going to give you the ultimately everything's in Allah's hands, but like that gives you that ties your camel. You know what I mean? That's where you want to
Right.
be at the end
That
of it.
ties
You
your
want to tie
camel
your
for
camel.
sure.
That's it. Like everything else, and that's the internal surrender. That's the part where you want to just kind of be at peace, knowing you did everything you could, and these are the tools
Right.
to do it. And as a man,
Hundred
that's
percent.
all you can ask for, really, for your
That's all
family,
you
for
can
yourself.
ask for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's all you can
and find
ask for.
community. I think community is important. I think that's like the last. So you got yourself, you got your community, and then you got the global network. I think those are the three things you want to. But it starts with yourself. Build yourself up, and then once you have that resource, you can expand to your family, your kids, your tribe, and then go from there. But take care of yourself.
That's a fact. That's a perfect way to end it, man. You know what I'm saying? Another one. You're intense, huh?
Damn,
No
bro.
doubt.
Yeah, no, facts.
Indeed,
Yeah.
indeed.
Till
So
next time.
catch you on the next one. Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.